Hello, everyone. Good evening from Nigeria. We're so excited that you're able to join us this evening. I'd like to welcome you all very especially to today's event. Today, we're celebrating African education and we're celebrating African teachers as well. We at T4 are aware that teachers in Africa are doing incredible work despite the challenges that abound in the education space. But then we see teachers going over and beyond to ensure that students everywhere have the opportunity to attain excellent education. And it's for this reason that we just want to celebrate African education and to also celebrate African teachers. This is us saying we see you and then we see the incredible work that you're doing as well. So I want to welcome you very warmly to today's session. Today promises to be super, super amazing. You'll be hearing from some African teachers, some of our country ambassadors will be speaking as well. And then later on, our CEO and founder at T4 Education, Vika Spota, will also make an appearance. So please do not go anywhere. You may just want to grab a bottle of chilled drink, just sit back and relax because it promises to be super, super amazing time today. So I'm not here alone. As you can see, my colleagues at TIFA are also here. Hi, Kirsten and OBJ.
Hello there, and thank you, Daniel. We're really excited to celebrate teachers in Africa today. And as Daniel said, we've got some very exciting news to share with you. So please do stay with us, because if you're, particularly if you're a teacher in Africa, or somebody interested and involved in education in Africa, you won't want to miss this announcement. And of course, hear from our fantastic speakers as well.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, yeah, OBJ, let's hear from you as well.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here. Welcome to the African Education Celebration event, and you're going to have a lovely time with us. Stay glued to your screen, and we have a lovely announcement for you, which you will be very much interested in. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, so Kirsten, I would hand over to you now for that session.
Great. Okay, thank you. Before we get into that, I just think it'd be nice if we actually have a look at some of these comments that we've got. Of course, if you're on Facebook, don't forget that if allowed StreamYard to have permission to see your name and profile picture when you comment, then we can see those names on screen. So if OBJ, if you want to have a look and bring some of those up, it'll be really nice to share to show who's here today with us. And that's hello from Georgia. Wonderful. And Pakistan joining us today as well. Hello, Raj. Hello, Branka, our dear friend and country ambassador.
Hi.
Hello there. So as we go through the event, please do feel free to share your comments, reflections throughout, and your own experiences. We want this to be as interactive as it can be. But before we get into our main program, first of all, because this is about an African education celebration, we cannot ignore the fact that we have got 3 African members of the team at T4, because we must not forget that Vikas Pota was also born in Kenya, and Daniel and OBJ that we have with us are both from Nigeria. And of course, like myself, they are both former teachers. And so I also know that they do some amazing activities. And I want us to celebrate those as well very quickly. So to start with, Daniel, as a former teacher, what are you doing outside of your T4 squad work to promote education in Nigeria?
Yeah, so thank you very much, Kirsten. We all know that the issue most times when it comes to education and why kids cannot access quality education is the quality of teachers that we have in the classroom. So outside of T4, part of what I do is professional development trainings for teachers and for young graduates who also want to go into the field of education. So I just provide that training for them, mentorship, I would say, for intending teachers as well. Right. So yeah, outside of T4, that's like basically what I do, teacher professional development trainings.
That's not the only thing that you do. I'm sure there's been some little projects involving collating school resources. Why don't you very quickly share about
Okay.
that?
Yes, so we there's this project I started when I was a fellow at Teach for Nigeria, Project Clone a Kid. The idea behind that project is basically to provide basic school resources to kids in underserved communities and just take care of as well school fees of some kids in underserved communities whose parents cannot be able to afford to pay that as well. Yeah, so these are just like the little things that extra that I do outside of T4. And it's really been
Wonderful.
amazing.
Thank you for sharing that with us all today, Daniel. And of course, the same question to you, OBJ. I know that you are incredibly busy outside of T4 activities as well, and you're doing some amazing things. So please share.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kirsten and Daniel. Well, for me, outside of T4, I still ensure I provide access to quality education for children in low-income communities in Nigeria, particularly children who can't afford basic resources in school, such as books, pen, uniforms. Most kids around the area I work in can't even afford to pay their school fees. Their parents are living below the poverty line. And what my organization, Brace Up the Young, does is to ensure that we get these kids into the classroom, provide learning resources to them, and ensure that their teachers are also able to access professional development to give a holistic solution to the problem of education in our local communities in Nigeria.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing, OBJ. And just to share with all of you, I don't know where they find the time and energy to do all these extra amazing things, but because they're kept very busy working for T4 all the time. But yeah, thank you for sharing. And back to you, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kirsten. Like we told you, if you've not given StreamYard permission, please go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission so that when you comment, we'll be able to see your name and your profile photo as well. So right about now, like I told you from the beginning, that you'll be hearing from some incredible teachers that are doing amazing stuff, even on the African continent. And we have one of such teachers by the name Grace Amoka, and she'll be sharing with us how she's able to create good digital content for her kids in the school. So please, let's make welcome Grace Amoka as she takes us through how she goes about creating good digital content. So please sit back and enjoy.
Hello, my name is Grace Amoka, a teacher in Local Government Education Authority Primary School, Komimashi, Kaduna, Nigeria, where 90% of children are from low-income families. I'll be sharing top tips on how to create good digital content for communities like ours. The pandemic hit and families in our communities did not have access to computers, and the internet kept dropping when they tried to access online classes with mobile phones. Students struggled to bridge the digital divide. Like the two characters in the word crisis in Chinese are transliterated as danger and opportunity, there was an opportunity to put to use audio content which required lower bandwidth than video, simpler and cheaper to produce and use, and more accessible by children in our community.
To produce great audio content, three steps are important. First, the planning, then the production, and the publishing. For the planning stage, the first thing you need to do is decide what lesson you want to teach or story you want to tell. Then you clearly identify the objectives you want to achieve from that lesson. You write out a script to help guide the production of the audio content. For the production phase, after deciding the fable to read and writing the script for the audio production, I go to Audacity, which is a free and open source digital audio editor. Very simple and straightforward to use. I click on the red icon here to record. Ali and the Magic Carpet. One very hot day, Ali finds a carpet in his uncle's shop. What's this? Suddenly, the carpet jumps.
It moves and flies up into the air. Hey, what's happening? A loud booming voice comes from the carpet. Welcome, O Master. I am a magic carpet. First, they fly high up into the sky, and then they land in a jungle. It is hot and wet, and it's raining. It's raining! Yuck! By the time I finish, I stop the recording and then play to see if it is what I want. Ali and the Magic Carpet. One very hot day. I can also add different types of effects. I can add background sounds to the story as well. When I finish and I'm satisfied with what I have, I come to file and then export as MP3. I named this Ali and the Magic Carpets. By the time I come to my Audacity folder here, I have my recording, which I can then send to students in my class.
I then send the audio content to the students via WhatsApp Messenger. The students learn to speak more fluently by sending their repeated audio files. They can also draw, write, and predict what happens in a sequel to the story.
I highly recommend you try out audio content for educational purposes. To do this, focus on enunciation, differentiating characters when telling stories, and then just keep practicing. You'll get better with every trial. The benefits of audio content are it increases the vocabulary and speaking skills of the students since they are forced to rely on listening only. It also helps maintain the interest of the learners. It is easier to make an audio clip than a video, and then it requires less bandwidth than video content. I look forward to see the amazing productions of audio content for educational purposes. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. That's Grace Amoka there sharing how she's able to create good digital content for her kids. And I remember during the pandemic here in Nigeria, it was very difficult for public school teachers to transition to online learning because of the number of kids they have and the fact that technology was not readily available. But with this format that Grace Amoka just shared, I think every teacher will be able to send audio content rather than depend on video content that makes it very difficult for people that live in areas or kids that live in areas that have very low bandwidth. Amazing practice there by Grace Amoka. So like I told you, today is fully packed with a lot of amazing sessions. I do remember to mention to you earlier that there will be certificates of participation, but then you just have to hang on till the end of the event for you to be able to know exactly how to get a certificate of participation. So please do not go anywhere. Stay glued to your screen because more beautiful sessions will be following. So the next session we'll be talking about STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And we have someone, our country ambassador, who is so passionate about STEM. She's so passionate about science. And we'd like to hear from her to just share with us several reasons why she's so excited and passionate about STEM, and then to just share some of our practices as well. So please let's make welcome for Wapfa Hapchi. You're welcome, Wafa.
Hello,
Yes,
hello
Wafa
everyone.
is our country ambassador for Tunisia. We're so excited to have you. Yes, so Wafa, we know that you're so passionate about STEM. You speak science, you talk science, you literally breathe science. Yeah, so please, can you just tell us the reason why you're this passionate about science? Is that something we need to know?
Uh, I'm passionate about teaching science because we are providing fundamental knowledge to the students and develop in them the skill of thinking and analyzing. We help them also to develop communicative skills and soft skills. We teach them how to work in group, So they build team spirit and apply their knowledge in learning activities. All of this leads them to success.
Amazing. I love the fact that you said you teach your kids how to think. Yeah, it's super important that as educators, we do not try to streamline the thought pattern or thought process of our kids. We just allow them to, by the use of maybe science, or just stir up that curiosity in them to want to broaden their horizon, for them to want to think outside the box, not think the things that the teacher would want them to think, but that on their own they can be able to, just think. If they can think well, success will definitely be their portion. Amazing. The next thing we'd like to know is, how are you using STEM in transforming your community?
So for us, since we are teaching students to work in groups, so we are working in on small projects that topics are related to SDG goals. So that develop the ability of local and global understanding for students. This inculcates citizenship and helps them to attain the skill of problem solving. So, to ensure that those students will be a good person, we are having projects on real social problems that we are trying to solve. Like we are starting with mind mapping the project, finding the goals, and then what is the structure of each project to then finalize and find the results, and maybe helping people to find some solution for their problems.
Amazing, amazing. Of course, the goal of education is so that our students are able to solve real time problems. So it's just exciting to hear that you're able to just help them to begin that journey of trying to be able to proffer solutions to the several issues that different countries are facing at this time. So I know that for someone like you that is very passionate about STEM, and then it's something that you do every day, could you please share tips perhaps with us on how you go about it? Is there something that you are doing differently? Are there practices that you want other educators or other teachers that are watching right now to also imbibe in their teaching practices as well?
First, we have to be, as a teachers, as educators, we have to be good listeners for our students so we can understand their problems and help them to find solutions. Then I think that in the 21st century and for all subjects, it's important to integrate educational tools that help to make the lesson more attractive for our students and promote collaboration between students so they will be more creative. They will give us all the nice ideas they are having.
Amazing. There's something you said that struck me. As educators, or as teachers, we should be able to listen. It's very, very powerful. We should be able to listen to the kids. I remember some time ago, I was sharing with some teachers, and I told them, you do not teach kids the way you think they should learn. You teach them the way the kids would want to learn, right? And then that is only possible if, as educators, we're able to listen. Amazing. So, last question I'll ask you is: so, what technologies have you adopted in your classroom that has really helped you to be able to deliver lessons effectively?
Yes. In my classroom, I am having or I am using presentations with the PowerPoint or Canva for education. Of course, there are many tools for presentation, and because students nowadays they assimilate better with their visual memory. So we are also using mind mapping to find the goal of the project, then the structure of each project we are having. For formative assessment, we use interactive quizzes like Kahoot, so the student learn while having fun.
Wow, amazing. Of course, students will always love to experiment with Canva and then just try their hands and so many things. Amazing. Thank you so much, Wafa, for sharing. It's been so inspiring listening to you and your practices and then the very amazing things that you're doing in your country, Tunisia, especially with your kids, just helping them and preparing them to be leaders of tomorrow, not just leaders of tomorrow, but people that are able to solve real time problems. So thank you so much. It
Thank
was
you. That
such
was a
a
pleasure. Thank
pleasure
you.
listening to you. All right. So thank you everyone for watching. That was Wafa Hapchi, our country ambassador for Tunisia, and we're so excited. I mean, just hearing the wealth of experience, the expertise that she's shared with us so far. I'm sure that you must have heard one or two things. So please, in the comment, do tell us what is it that you heard from WAPFA that struck you during this session that struck you differently. So please let us know in the comment. Amazing. Thinking and analysis are related to STEM. Of course. That's Olayemi Adewale. Of course, yeah, Branca is also agreeing there. Thank you so much. Yes, please keep the comments coming. So, like I told you, we're going to be hearing from some very amazing African teachers. Okay. All right. Amazing comments we're seeing everywhere. Uh, Wow. All right, that's Kaliani, sorry, our country ambassador as well. Thank you so much. Of course, amazing comments there. Yeah, so we're still going to hear from another educator, this time around by the name Esther. So please stay glued to your screen. It's going to be another amazing session. She's still going to share with us her practices as well. So please let's make welcome Esther.
Hello, dearest educators and teachers. My name is Esther Monio Arimiokai, and I am a language teacher at Language. Language is a fully online language school, and there I teach English, French, and Portuguese. Today, I'll be showing you how to assess using online learning tools. Because my school Language operates fully online, I have had to interact with and assess my students using different learning tools. So here are two things we need to understand as teachers. Firstly, assessment is beyond evaluating a student. It is also a way for us to get feedbacks from them and for them to learn. Secondly, understanding your assessment goal is key. My two assessment goals as a language instructor are retention and immersion. What does that mean? In my context, I give daily assessment to my students to keep them in contact with the language and give them a consistent learning infrastructure. In other words, I am not necessarily evaluating the knowledge of a particular topic, but I am creating an environment for immersion. Because I understand my assessment goals, I use two approaches: video games and dialogue simulation. Who doesn't like video games? Now I'm going to show you how I create and implement these two approaches. To create video games, I use this platform, Kahoot. I click on the create button in the top right corner, and I have the option to create a new one or create with a template. This is the question interface. I start typing my question here where I have start typing your question. I include my options right here, and I could also insert a media. Could be a picture, a video, or an audio, but I prefer GIFs because they are very funny. See, after you have included your questions and the options, you can proceed to duplicate, and then you could make your game a quiz, true or false, type answer, puzzle. You could even collect your students' opinions. We are in my Kahoot library now. I have quite a number of games. Let's play one and experience it, how the students do. Yeah, the answer is correct. In my classroom, I noticed that this cupboard feature enables students to intensify their learning unconsciously. let's move to the second approach. My second approach to evaluation is called dialogue simulation. What I do is to write a short story and then animate it using Canva. On Canva, there are various templates for animation, and you can choose any of them, or you can build your own from scratch, which was what I did with this particular one. Taking this for example, I wrote about a particular boy's family. We read it in class. To simulate dialogue, my students read the story in class. After that, they reproduce it using their context. This approach enables them to not only learn the vocabulary, but also to use the vocabulary. So, dearest teachers, while you understand your assessment goals and approaches, remember that the best way to assess a student is through play. Let them enjoy the process, and you'll be surprised at how much they would be able to learn even through assessments.
Amazing. Of course, you cannot just teach when the environment is boring, or when the topic is boring, or the subject is boring. So there's no doubt learning happens faster when kids enjoy what they're doing, when your students are having fun while learning. So amazing, amazing. I know that as educators out there, we just cannot help but incorporate fun, in our teaching and learning, in the teaching and learning process, just so that our kids would have fun in the process and enjoy. I remember when I was still in the classroom, I took a guitar to school sometime, and then we just sing some math songs and we just have fun, right? So thank you so much, Esther, for sharing. So like I told you, please remember that we'll be giving certificates of participation, but then you need to just hang on to the end of the session. So please stay glued to your screen, because the next session is going to be even more interesting. So please, let's make welcome right now for our country ambassadors in Africa, in Nigeria particularly, as they share with us. So please, ladies, let's make welcome for Muin Olua. Welcome. And we also have Jessica Fumi. Nice having you. Hi, Muin.
Hi,
How are you doing
Thank
today?
you for having
I'm
me.
fine.
Hi, Jessica Fumi. Good to have you. Amazing
Thank
to
you
just
very
see
much.
um, the diversity that we have on screen, diversities of experiences, and then practices as well. So let me start by asking Jessica Fumi, do you think that teachers in Africa are doing enough to prepare kids to be leaders of tomorrow? And if yes, how are they doing that? What are they doing to prepare kids for the future?
Okay, maybe let me start with the background. I want to compare how I learned to what is happening today. And reflecting on that, there's been a huge difference. Today, teachers in Nigeria, at least of recent, are beginning to reconsider the teacher-centered education to child-centered education. This is something that is beginning to change now. When we were growing up, it was more of what the teacher wanted us to learn. We were not given the opportunity to brainstorm or create or even ask creative questions. But now, I have children in school. I'm a teacher as well. There's a drive in our society now trying to turn us away from the teacher center to the child center. And I think that is a way forward to producing good leaders of tomorrow. Another thing that I'm noticed in my community in Nigeria now also is the rave on holistic education. We are moving away from focusing on one aspect. I think that also can be is based on the government we see now. And I'm on different teaching platforms, and the discussion we have around teaching children these days is let's not focus only on education. What about other aspects like emotional teaching, the spiritual teaching, and other aspects that would help um, build integrity, self-esteem, and other things that would help with all child as the child grows up to become a leader in future. And I think that this is one other aspect that as Nigerian teachers we're looking into now, because I have had conversations with other teachers from around Nigeria. I love to join teaching platforms because I believe I can learn from other people. And from their discussion, everybody's beginning to realize that we cannot afford to focus on one aspect of a child anymore. We have to look at other things that make this child a whole person as this child is growing up. And I think that that is what is helping us. And of course, in the near future, we begin to see children. It's not something we have embraced in the past. I would say that it's something that is evolving now. And I'm looking forward to see a Nigerian that has, children who have been taught holistically.
Amazing. And no doubt, what you just said now, it rings a bell in my head because, of course, there's a paradigm shift away from student-centered learning now, from teacher-centered learning to student-centered learning. Of course, students have to take ownership of their learning, and no doubt, if we apply those roots, on the African continent, we're going to see a lot of leaders emerge, leaders that would be responsible not just for themselves now, but they'll be responsible enough to provide solutions to problems that affect their own communities as well. Amazing. So the next question will be to you, Lua. Can you just tell us how EdTech can help bridge the gap? How can EdTech bridge the educational barrier in on the African continent?
Thank you so much, Daniel. Before now, before COVID, this is not rampant, but due to COVID, there is much introduction of educational technologies in Nigeria, and this has really helped to bridge the gap. But the major barrier in education is poverty. And from where I work in the community I teach, I teach in an underserved community, and there, we have indigenous children that do not have access to laptops. But there's one thing that is common to all: radio. So, like Teach for Nigeria, they have a program called Radio School, Teach for Nigeria Radio School, where teaching and learning is done on radio, and this is done at the comfort of the children, sitting in their homes, learning, and at the comfort of their homes. And has gone a long way in bridging the gap and stopping the barrier that is in education.
Amazing, amazing. No doubt the COVID pandemic hit, and then a lot of teachers and schools just they were left with no option than to embrace the language of technology. And it's amazing to see the technological innovations and then the interventions across the African continent from Nigeria to several parts of Africa. You see teachers going out of their way to ensure that learning continues to happen, regardless of whether or not they have technology at their disposal. To say that communities use radio to ensure that learning happens regardless of the situation they are in is just very, very exciting to hear. Now, the next question I'd like to ask is, Wafa, I remember you talked about your kids, carrying them through community engagement, them doing projects and all that. Can you please just share some of maybe one or two of those projects that your kids have been able to implement in your community that has really helped to either address a particular issue or that provided solution to a particular problem that you have noticed in your community?
So for us, it was maybe because of pandemic, we had started the projects. Then for some students, we couldn't finalize it, but we have some ideas, like help people to uh, um, we have illegal immigration here, so people are going to other countries illegally. So we are having some projects about that.
Amazing. Um, of- of-
Just
yes,
one
please go
minute.
on.
Just I'm trying to find the link for that. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay. All right, no problem. Of course, immigration is a problem that with the issues that we having, crisis here and there, people having to move. Of course, there's need to sensitize people and then to provide solution or provide help as much as possible. Thank you so much for sharing. The last question I'll be asking Jesutu for me. Is there any EdTech initiative on the African continent that you are very interested in, that maybe you've been observing over time and then you're so interested in?
Yes, yes. Last year, my son, my eldest son, who was 14 at the time, won a scholarship for an EdTech boot camp from Bonvita. So that's one very prominent EdTech um, organization that I know, and I'm following. He applied the year before; they didn't take him, and then we reapplied again. And since then, that has imparted his life, and now my son wants to be a coding professional, a game. I don't know the language, but that single act of them bringing this to these children has impacted one life, and he knows what he wants to do, and he's doing well in his computer studies, ICT study, anything that has to do with data analysis and all that, just because of this edtech. Another organization that I'm following closely is RAIN. I live in Ibadan, and I know they have an office here. Is Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Nigeria. They're going around schools to educate children and get their interest into coding, especially girls. And this is something that EdTech has also done. In the past, anything computer is always kind of masculinized. I don't know if that is correct, as in it's kind of like driven towards the male gender. But with the emergence of EdTech now, girls are also being integrated into the program. So I know that RAIN is one EdTech organization that is also like helping girls, especially get involved in coding and um, any computer engineering and all this gaming and coding thing. Yeah.
Amazing. Of course, there are a lot of games that are coming on board now to make the teaching process fun. Gamifying the process is such a game
Right.
changer, no doubt. Right? Amazing. So in say 2-3 seconds, Moyolua, can you tell me that one teacher that inspires you in Africa?
Hayodele Odebola. He's
Okay.
a Nigerian. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. How about you, Jessica, for me? Who's that one teacher that inspires you?
As was it growing up, or as an adult,
Oh,
or
no,
as a
currently,
professional teacher?
currently, currently.
Currently,
Yeah,
Miss Fumilayo Afolabi. She's actually my current supervisor. She is a wonderful teacher. She's my supervisor
amazing,
right now. She's a wonderful. I learned a lot from her,
amazing,
especially when you talk about class management. I learned a lot
amazing.
from her.
Amazing. Wafa, can you tell us who is that one teacher that inspires you in Tunisia?
Yes, in Tunisia, there are many teachers who can inspire us. We are having Yusuf Hasni, for example. We are having Lubna Jamali, and many others who are like helping teachers to attain the success, and they are very. For me, it was like Lubna Jamali was a great teacher, and I love her a lot also.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. It was such an amazing time with all of you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for sharing your expertise. I can see that we have some very lovely comments in the chat. Please, like I told you, go to streamyard.com/Facebook. Give Facebook permission so that when you comment, we can see your name and not just Facebook user. So please, let's see some of the comments. Let's take your reactions. Let's hear what you're saying. Of course, TFN radio has been of help. Oh, good to know. Yep. Let's see some girls of technologies wearing in Kenya. Oh wow. Please go to streamyard.com/Facebook and give Facebook permission so that when you comment, we'll see your name. Amazing. Thank you so much, Kaliani. Yes, let's see more comments. Okay. All right. So thank you so much. I'm a smartphone teacher born out of COVID-19 pandemic in most homes. Oh, amazing in Nairobi. Good to know. Wonderful to listen to you. Great teaching, to your great teaching methodologies in Nigerian education. Amazing. Student-centered approaches allow for creativity and innovation. No doubt, it does. Okay, let's see some more comments. Plays an important aspect of learning, which is the importance and necessity cannot be neglected in teaching and learning process. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, thank you so much. Amazing. Just keep your comments coming. Let us know your thoughts, the conversation so far, and of course, like I asked them, please feel free to tag that one teacher that inspires you. We have lots of educators that are watching currently. If they are also on Facebook, tag them and let them know that they is a huge inspiration to you, and I'm sure they will be really excited. So please go ahead and let's see. Go ahead and tag that teacher that inspires you. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We're really excited that our country ambassadors are able to join and just to share with us. So right about now, we'd like to hand over to Kirsten.
Thank you very much, Daniel. And thank you very much, ladies, for sharing your practice. There are some fantastic comments coming up on social media. People are really grateful that you're sharing your practices, and you are no doubt inspiring them as well. And thank you for all that you do in terms of your advocacy for education, because we have to remember that you're country ambassadors as well, and that is you deciding to take on an extra role to advocate for quality education in your country and to open up opportunities to some of the activities we have available to support teachers in Africa. So thank you so much, not only for participating, but also for stepping up to do that as well.
Thank you.
And we are now moving in to the next segment, but please do stay with us, because for those of you that are watching, our country ambassadors have no idea what our surprise announcement is. And so we're going to switch over to the announcement time with a message from Vikas.
Hi, my name is Vikas Pota. I'm the founder and CEO of T4 Education. Today, I'm delighted that in collaboration with our founding partner HP and our strategic partner Intel, we call upon Africa's changemakers to apply or be nominated for the inaugural Africa Educational Medal. This new award will be given to an outstanding individual who has demonstrated impact, leadership, and advocacy in the field of education. In the decades leading up to the pandemic, Africa has made some great strides in boosting school enrollment. To protect and expand upon these vital gains in the wake of COVID, teachers, NGOs, politicians, tech entrepreneurs, and figures from the public and private sectors will need to work together to build a future where every child in Africa can achieve the quality education that is their birthright. The Africa Education Medal has been launched to recognize the tireless work of those who are transforming education across the continent, to celebrate the stories of those who have lit the spark of change so others will be inspired to take up the torch. This medal is open to individuals working to improve pre-kindergarten, K-12, so that's primary and secondary education, vocational education, and university education, who are one of the following. Either you're an educator or a school administrator, you're a civil society leader, you're a public servant or a government official, you're a political leader, you're a technologist or innovators. Now, what our nominees must demonstrate are any of the following key attributes in education. So they must, for example, have significantly improved learning outcomes, promoted girls' education, promoted equity and broadening access to education, advanced pedagogical or technological innovation, build and strengthen educator capacity, catalyze civic participation in education, and championing the rights of education stakeholders. The top 10 finalists for the inaugural Africa Educational Medal will be announced this July, and the winner will be announced in September. Nominees will be assessed by a jury comprising prominent individuals based upon a rigorous set of criteria. Nominations will close on June the 3rd. So friends, I ask for all of you to think about these change makers. And if you know any or have been inspired by any, please go to our website at africaeducationmedal.org and complete a nomination. You can also use the social media streams to publicize the prize, and it is called #AfricaEduMedal. Please, let's join hands in making sure that we tell the stories of our prolific change makers in Africa. Thank you, and I look forward to your support.
And we'd like to thank HP as one of our founding partner, and Intel as our strategic partner for the Africa Education Medal. We couldn't do these things without the support of partners, and so we are forever grateful for that. So let's go back to our country ambassadors now. As I mentioned earlier, they had no idea about this announcement, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.
I'm super excited about this announcement, and I think this is the first of its kind in Africa, and this will help a lot in encouraging teachers to do more for their country. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and we have 3 brilliant teachers here that should no doubt be applying and nominating yourselves for that. Wafu, what were your first thoughts about the medal?
It's really a great announcement. It's a very nice surprise, and it will encourage the teachers, the educators to do more, to be to help students everywhere, and it's really a great thing for us. Thank you, all of you.
Wonderful, thank you. And Jezatomi, what were your first thoughts about the Africa Education Medal?
Okay. So the first thing that came to my mind is like, wow, finally Africa is being recognized. It's high time we were heard as well. They are fantastic teachers who have imparted lives and who should be recognized. And I so much appreciate what you guys are doing. This is a laudable action. And thank you so much for what you have done and what you have put out. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And I'm sure the team that have been involved in working on this with our partners, HP and Intel, will be really grateful for that feedback. But of course, this is all about celebrating teachers in Africa, teachers just like you that are on screen right now, teachers like you that are in the audience sharing your comments. There is a wealth of excellence and experience and inspiration, and this is your opportunity to shine. So we hope that we get thousands and thousands of applications from teachers, education advocates, policymakers, anybody that is involved in advocating for excellence and quality education and access to education and teaching. You're all eligible to apply, and please if you don't think that it's something that is right for you, I'm sure that there is somebody out there that inspires you, that is doing incredible work in Africa to support education. So please nominate them. So let's have a look at some of the comments that are coming in over on the live stream. I'm just going to bringing some of those up. Great. So we've got some positive first responses, of course, from the audience as well. And it looks like we've also got some nominations coming through already. You'll have to go to the website to do those properly. Of course, it's that time. Let's get Africa education on the stage globally, fully and celebrated, and we're starting that celebration right now. Indeed, best wishes to Africa also. We don't know who that's from, but it's still appreciated. Okay, and so again, as a reminder, we can only create these opportunities through the support of partners. So thank you once again to our founding partner HP and our strategic partner Intel. We couldn't do these things without the support of partners, as I mentioned before. And together, I hope that we are creating a platform that teachers and education advocates in Africa will fully utilise.
Yeah, it's amazing. Amazing. I'm just seeing the reactions and then the nominations that have come through already. Somebody nominating Moyolua, and then they're just nominating themselves. It's really amazing. I have no doubt in my heart that teachers in Africa would feel encouraged. They'll feel part of the global conversations around education, and they'll feel like their own contribution to global education is also acknowledged, that what they're doing, the global community is also aware, they're watching, and they truly, truly celebrate them. Because I know that if kids in every part of the world are taught well, they are educated properly, it will contribute to global peace. It will contribute to everybody in every part of the world will be a partaker of that goodwill. Of course, SDG. Of course. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. We're really excited that you're able to join.
Yes, and thank you so much to our speakers today. You're welcome to come back on screen, of course. I'm just going to do that right now. Yep, I think we've just, let's set Dizotomi. Sorry, there seems to have been a technical glitch there, but there you go. And OBJ, please also, I'm adding you. You're also doing incredible work. I'm not sure that nominations for T4 squad members is allowed though. So I'm sure you can find some other the inspirational teachers and education advocates in Africa to nominate yourself, perhaps. So thank you all again for joining us. Please do visit the website africaeducationmedal.org, and you can find out everything that you need to know about this opportunity. There's a frequently asked questions section, and of course, if you have any questions that aren't answered on the website at the moment, then you're welcome to reach out to the team. You can contact us through messaging on the T4 Education Facebook, for example, and we will get those questions answered and any additional FAQs added to the website as well. But in the meantime, today is all about celebrating teachers and education in Africa. So thank you for joining us. And if you would like some more Africa education celebration themed content to watch, head over onto our YouTube channel, where you can go back and look through our World Education Week playlist from last year and 2020, and you will find some incredible examples of other schools in Africa sharing their expertise. There is some brilliant stuff there, and if you haven't watched that once, definitely go over there and head to our YouTube channel It's just T4 Education, or youtube.com/T4 Education. And you will find some more inspiration there to keep this celebration of African educators and teachers alive. So, thank you all again. Thank you once again to our founding partner, HP, and our strategic partner, Intel, for supporting us with this activity. And enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening. Thank you.
Thank you.